Picture your dream house. It might have an exquisite pool, a massive garage, or one of those automated systems that welcomes you home so you feel less lonely. All of this, like most things, probably cost a lot of money, and you probably wouldn't want to throw away thousands or possibly even millions building or buying a house that's unreasonably and bafflingly expensive, would you? You can probably guess where I'm going with this. Today we're going to be looking at some ridiculously expensive mansions with price tags that make us go, what on earth were they thinking? Welcome back to our channel. Before we begin, make sure you have subscribed and ring that bell so you never miss a video from us. If you've ever been house hunting before, you've definitely been shown some pretty underwhelming places with price tags that make your wallet hurt. Well, let me tell you, it gets worse. From misshapen art objects posing as houses to run-of-the-mill mansions costing several more millions than they should. Let's get into it. Number 4. Spaceship House. Ever wanted to live in a futuristic house and let everyone know you're so into sci-fi you're ready to spend $140 million building a futuristic-looking house? Well, that must have been what Russian billionaire Vladislav Dorinin was thinking when he hired architect Zaha Hadid to build him one of the strangest-looking houses around. So, how does what looks like a giant prop from Star Wars end up in the middle of a forest on the outskirts of Moscow? Well, to understand that, we need to talk about the tale of a world-famous architect, a billionaire, and his desire to live in a spaceship perched atop the trees. Russian-born billionaire Vladislav Dorinin is the founder of the real estate development firm Oko Group and owner of the luxury resort brand Aman. He certainly knows a thing or two about luxury houses. After contracting Zaha Hadid to build him a home where he could look over the tops of the trees and not see another human in sight, construction started in 2008. And after 10 years, his dream was achieved and his house was completed. Dorinin loved this mansion so much that he put it up for sale 1 year later in 2019 for $100 million. That's $40 million less than it cost him to build it. So, what's inside the Capitol Hill residence, also known as the Spaceship House, mostly because of its unique shape and long, skinny tower poking out over the trees? This 3,600 square foot mansion was built on the outskirts of Moscow in the elite suburb of Rubliovka, where the houses can cost up to $80 million. All in all, the mansion isn't actually that bad. That long, skinny tower I mentioned earlier houses an elevator that leads to the master bedroom, providing that amazing view Dorinin wanted. Now, I don't know about you, but the thought of getting trapped in an elevator when no one else is around is plenty of reason for me to stay out of the master bedroom. Death traps aside, the home does have an amazing indoor pool and a nightclub as well. We really can't say too much about the interior of the mansion, as Dorinin was so proud of his creation that he released only one picture of its interior. Either that, or he just really likes his privacy. Spaceship House is definitely a unique mansion worth a substantial sum of money, but even Dorinin agrees is definitely not worth the $140 million he spent building it. Number 3. 24 Middle Gap Road. We're starting off strong with this one. This, let's say, unique mansion is located at the exclusive Middle Gap Road in Hong Kong. And how much does it cost? Oh, just a measly $450 million, or 3.5 billion Hong Kong dollars, making it one of the most expensive houses in the country and one of the most expensive in the entire world. Surely you must be thinking, for that kind of money, this must be some kind of palatial estate with a rocket launch site in this backyard or something. No, this is what one might charitably call a modest mansion. That being said, what's inside this mansion and does it justify such a price? Well, it's a 4-bedroom mansion that sits on 7,725 square feet of real estate in Middle Gap Road, which is located at one of the most prestigious gated communities in Hong Kong, Victoria Peak. Surrounded by dense forests and lush greenery, it's known for its incredible views and lots of privacy, as well as its very wealthy residents, which is very likely the reason for its incredible cost. Surely the community where the house sits can't be enough reason to ask for enough money to buy multiple private islands, right? So let's take a look inside. Like I mentioned earlier, the home has 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, a living room, 2 dining rooms, and a pretty regular looking kitchen and a garage that holds only 2 cars. That's about it. No helipad, no apocalypse bunker, no ballistic missile defense system. You know, the usual things billionaires put in their houses. To be fair, the mansion does have a couple of things going for it. It has a pretty nice pool on the property and some amazing views of the forest and the city skyline. Not quite worth putting down almost $500 million if you ask me. Number 2. Derek Jeter's Castle. When you think of castles, you probably imagine kings, knights, and epic middle-age sieges. You probably don't think of a big gray house on the shore of a lake in New Jersey, but it was castle enough for New York Yankees baseball player Derek Jeter when he bought it in 2003 for $425,000, affectionately naming it the Gem on the Lake. This might not be the most egregious house on the list. After all, it is a 12,000 square foot property with 700-foot-long shoreline. After purchasing it in 2003, Derek Jeter gave the mansion quite the spit shine, trying to raise the standard of it up to royalty. Although most royals might have something to say about the 12-foot-high replica of the Statue of Liberty planted in its front yard. Other than that, it does have 8 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a library, multiple kitchens, and a pool. That, however, didn't stop Derek Jeter from putting it up for sale at an asking price of $14.7 million. Unsurprisingly, he's been finding it rather difficult to sell the place. It might be because of its dated decor, unimpressive architecture, or maybe people don't want to stare at a massive replica of the Statue of Liberty all the time. Most likely, it's because he's trying to sell his house for 35 times the price he bought it for. If you don't think so, Derek Jeter sure does, as he shaved $2 million off his initial asking price after the house had been on the market for 2 years without any takers. Number 1. Granoloma. Who doesn't love a log cabin? Quaint, minimal decor, just far enough from civilization that you can return to nature. Now, what if I told you there's a log cabin that's the exact opposite of that? Introducing the Granoloma. This massive log cabin that sits on Lake Superior in Michigan, United States, is a whopping 26,000 square foot mansion with 23 rooms, really stretching the term log cabin here. I know what you're thinking, so what's wrong with it? Well, on paper, nothing. It's got 23 bedrooms, 4 separate apartments, a private marina, 1 hot tub because sharing is caring, and a massive gardening area for that returning to nature I mentioned earlier. It would be a perfect getaway not just for your family, but for your extended family and a bunch of your coworkers too for extra measure. So what's the catch? The Granoloma was built in 1923 and, well, it certainly shows its age. It sports some seriously outdated decor as well as, let's say, eccentric knickknacks all over the place, including wall-to-wall taxidermy. So if you don't like constantly looking at dead stuffed animals and mounted animal heads, well, this isn't the place for you. That is, unless you're willing to shell out the millions of dollars it would take to fully redecorate the rooms of this incredibly massive log cabin. Couple that with the fact that the closest major city is about 200 miles away. This cabin is incredibly remote, making this cabin in the woods the perfect destination to reenact Cabin in the Woods, if you know what I mean. Unsurprisingly, this cabin was put up for sale for $40 million, which is frankly a little steep for a building that looks like it'll take a few million just to keep it heated throughout the winter. Eventually, the asking price was cut in half and still no one wants to buy the place for $20 million. Who'd have guessed? Well, that's about it. There are definitely some ridiculously expensive houses out there, but I think these ones take the cake. So next time your real estate agent shows you a 1-bedroom apartment that costs a year's salary, there's definitely worse out there. So, do you think these homes are worth the cost? Who am I kidding? Of course you don't. What I want to know is how much of a scam do you think the housing market is? Comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, do leave us a like and check out the King Luxury channel for more videos all about luxury. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.